Well, here we are. We are back on the scene of that fire, that conflagration, if you like, which has taken over at the Kejetia area. I'm talking about Edum Kumasi. And you can see there some conversations with some of the officers. I think that's an immigration officer and maybe, I don't know whether that's a prisons officer, but police officers as well. We have, I believe I see the regional minister as well on hand. He is the one in the curry-colored dress, and fire service officials also trying to douse the fires. But we have our man on the beat. I believe it's Nanabwache Yadom. Nanabwache, what can you report so far? What's the scene or the situation on the ground?
That is what you see here. So, Benjamin, in your shot is Dr. Frank Amwakohene, the Ashanti Regional Minister, who just got here with the National Security Operatives, the Ghana Police Service, and other market union leaders to ascertain the gravity of the fire that has spread widely to several shops in the Kumasi Central Market or the business district, Edum. Here at the Ashanti Regional Capital, Kumasi. The fire started around 6 a.m., spread widely. Even some say it started around 4 a.m. We're just waiting for the security operatives, the National Fire Service, to also give us the accurate details. But now, traders are counting their losses. Fire tenders and the fire service operators are doing so well to quench the fire. This is how severe the situation is. Fire all over the CBD, the inner perimeter of the Central Business District. It started from a building next to the Hello FM block or the Hello FM building. The top floor is where the fire started from. It spread widely from that end to the entire building. Moved all the way to the Central Business District. Opposite of it is where it happened. The Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, is in here. We would want to go down there so you can see for yourself the situation on ground. And you see the CBD very well crowded. Traders, buyers, suppliers are all here to console their friends and their relatives who have been affected by the fire. This place has been cordoned off by the security operatives, preventing entry because of the gravity of the fire closer to where we began our interaction from. And so the fire service in here, the police service, military, national security operatives, all of them are here. We are getting closer to where the Ashanti Regional Minister is, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, where he's interacting with the traders and other people who have been affected by the fire. He came in with other important figures, including national security operatives. And he's coming out, the Regional Minister, in your shot, that's Dr. Frank Amwakohene, who is in to see for himself what has happened so far. We are in the Central Business District, Edum. The RM is in here with the security operatives from the Regional Coordinating Council. All of them are in here. This fire is very serious and very severe. It swept through several shops after it started from one block or first one floor to an entire block, moved all the way to several blocks, and now traders are counting their losses. Dr. Frank Amwakohene and his team are in here to get to know for themselves what has happened so far. The RM, Frank Amwakohene, is in here. We're live on Joy News, and he is going to the back end of the building that is very much affected by the fire. The place is very well crowded, and so movement is a little bit difficult. That is why you see shaky shots, but they all tell you the story of how difficult it is to be in the central business district affected by the fire outbreak this morning. Dr. Frank Amwakohene, I hear him expressing frustration and worry about the widespread of the fire. And the national security operatives are telling him about the situation. That's the national security operative with Dr. Frank Amwakohene, and he is narrating the situation to Doct.
Inside was steps.
And so I'm at the back of the national security operative who is narrating everything to the RM.
Steps in the one you say. Well, I had here safe, but Uko and Kakra, I want to ask Uncle Pierre phase 2 now.
So he just told him about the situation opposite the phase 2 of the Kejetia market.
Too much because I also now.
All the way to the phase 2 opposite of it where the situation is equally worse.
Of course, now he's almost a beshi and no signage. Yes, I see what you said.
They have to go back because of how severe it is at the back end. It makes it difficult for him to go there because the fire is still on, very severe. The smoke so serious that he cannot get there. The first part of the building that got affected by the fire is a little bit resolved or solved, but the back end is where the situation seems worse. The traders are angry. They are counting their losses, and they are trying to salvage some of their goods. That's a trader there. Dr. Frank Amwakohene very well worried about the situation.
They did well, but now
so he's telling them to control the crowd. The Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amwakohene, live on Joy News, in here to look at the gravity of the situation at the Kejetia market. Doc, in your short, skipped all of his assignment to be here to see what has happened today. It's been hours, but still the fire is still worse. It gets worse as time goes on, and the place is equally crowded. Dr. Frank Amwakohene would have to go up to the walkway to see for himself what has happened. We'll do very well to get you a clear shot of all that the regional minister and his team coming into the walkway. So we're on top, and you can see Dr. Frank Amwakohene coming with his team, police service, national security operatives. All of them are in here to look at the situation themselves.
nti fire for no edum ha say ni nyina nti kakra na beba no na no so asatra eko nti other side ono so no say yeah.
So you see in your shorts.
I shall say was saying wooden structures na cars into omu remu heat in so much because of the petrol ni diesel no. Nti I shall say what I say and because of wooden structures no air core because we're far away from a free Hello FM building up to us na. Until so say na obisa say fire tender no. Who said there's no any bia e wa ha say. Nti any ka later we can create a space in case of any na fire for net minya chance area room. Say anya careful a say structures mo we neche no so betumi asan akọ. Yeah. And a cylinder so mo di aduane no. Oh, this mo. And I so this is a tender number ko betumi agina ha. Fire for the BY.
So Dr. Frank Amoakohene is done with his inspection. Probably not done, but he has been informed. RM, you've been here. He's declined to speak, but let's just see if he would be able to say a word or two. He wants to know the situation before he would be able to brief us. That is why he's doing all of his consultation. Probably after that, would be able to speak to Dr. Frank Amoakohene. So the regional minister engaging with the security operatives. They are briefing him on the situation that might have led to the outbreak and even the widespread of it. He has said that they should pave way for the fire tenders to make it into the inner perimeter to quench the fire from there, because the place is crowded and they would not be able to get in there with their vehicle. It looks like a very tough time for him as a regional minister who took over not long ago. And it's a very serious situation here, Benjamin. Very difficult to witness, because from where we are and where we stand, and from the briefing that we have, it doesn't look like the fire would go down anytime soon. With all the briefings that he has, there would be a lot to do for him as regional minister. That is Dr. Frank taking a brief from the national security operatives.
King, I heard some talk about petrol and diesel
at the Kejetia Market.
Nana Boakye, I heard something said about petrol and diesel and the impact on the fire. Can you explain to us what exactly the person was saying?
Outbreak is yet to be determined. There would be a need for an investigation into the matter before RM would be able to brief us.
President is coming, so he's rushing to the airport.
We are being told that he has to rush to the airport because the president will be in town soon. But if possible, we could get a word or two from him. But no, that is Dr. Frank Amoakohene. He's done with his inspection and he has to drive because we are being told that the president would be in very soon. Will be in the Ashanti region for the tree planted project at Nkarie. So he has to be at the airport to pick up the president. And when he is done with that, he drives with the president to Nkarie for the tree planting project. And then we are hoping that after that, His Excellency the President himself would come and see for himself. And also probably hear from the president and his team on the measures that are going to be put in place to curb the situation and ensure that it doesn't occur again. This time around, the regional minister is in with all of his security operatives from the Regional Coordinating Council. The National Security Operative is here to brief us.
It started around 5 a.m. thereabout. We arrived here around 5:15. The issue is the fire service. In fact, they did their best. The main problem is how to get access to where the fire started. You see, had that been a way through, they would have finished their work within 30 minutes. But the people were even disrupting them. Some were looting. We have to go and then be arresting some of them. And the military too came in and then they even helped us a lot. So now, the fire is towards the Roman Hill area, towards the phase 2 of the building. Yeah, so they are still working on it seriously. And still, the fire is still raging. And there are water in the tenders, but still how to get to the main where the fire is our problem right now.
What's causing the access challenge?
The structures, these wooden structures that they built on the railway, that is the major problem that is even causing the fire. You can see when we went upstairs with the minister, still the fire was still raging and there's no access. You can see that there are waters in the tenders, but how to get to the main area is the problem. So we are still working on it. The military have come and they are bringing extra people to come and help us.
What's the way forward?
The way forward is we are bringing the ministers and this to clear all these things from here so that the fire service will get access to them. We are bringing excavators, bulldozers to come and clear the road so that the fire tenders will get access to
What is the anticipated time that you think can help you or you need to quench this fire?
Brother, I think it can take about extra 3-4 hours. It can take about extra 3-4 hours because the tenders are here. Some are from Ejusu Airport, Mampong, and so we have about 11 of them here. But the problem, as I said, is the access. So as you ask, it will take about almost 4-5 hours before you can quench it off.
That is to say that it will continue to spread widely.
It is still continuing. It is still. I think you yourselves, you've seen it. It is still continuing towards the Roman Hill edge. But the fire tenders cannot go near the fire. They cannot go near the fire. That is the major problem here.
And the fact that you're unable to get into the inner perimeter, it shows that it is going to be very much severe. What are you going to do to make sure that your machines are able to get inside there so that you'll be able to quench the fire from the inner perimeter?
We are bringing in excavators from RCC. They are even coming. So if the excavators come, I think they can help about 60%. The excavator can help because they can enter into the fire and then clear the road for the fire service tender to enter.
That is to say that you'd break the walls to enter.
We will. Even if it's a house on the street, we will break the house and then the fire tenders should get the access to it.
Thank you very much. And that is the National Security operative who came in with the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoakohene. Dr. Frank Amoakohene had indicated that looking at the gravity of the situation inside the blue light area, where it becomes very difficult for the fire tenders to enter, they have to break the walls to get into it. And you heard the National Security Operative himself say that looking at what they are seeing right now, they would have to break in and enter. And even if it is a house that is blocking them from having access into the inner perimeter to quench the fire, they are going to break down the house or the building. Right now, the fire is still spreading widely. It has already swept through numerous shops, numerous buildings, and they have been widely affected. The traders are counting their losses. The traders are calling on the authorities to quickly intervene to make sure that this does not get into other shops that have not yet been affected. He says that they would need about 4 to 5 hours to quench the fire totally, and that looks like a very long period to be able to bring down the fire. Looking at the gravity of it, it is a very serious fire, very catastrophic. The fire that started from the building next to Hello FM, the top floor, swept through the entire building, went all the way to the next building that is opposite the Otumfo runabout. It went all the way to the other building opposite the phase 2 of the Kejetia Market project, and then from there it swept through other buildings and other blocks that are opposite the Roman Hill area or around the Roman Hill area, and that is where the fire tenders have moved to right now, because that place is seriously on fire. Meanwhile, the inner perimeter of the CBD, where the fire started from, or at the back of the Hello FM building, the Spites building, is still on fire. That place is where they find it difficult to enter to be able to quench the fire. But the RM, the regional minister, and the security operative have said that they are going to break the walls so that they can enter. Fear is that this fire will sweep through the Spites building and have its way into the Hello FM block, but then the security operatives, the fire tender machines, and the fire service operatives are doing their best to make sure that it doesn't get affected. That block, the Spites building, doesn't get affected, and other shops around the CBD does not get affected as well. And so this is the situation. A fire that started around 4 a.m. swept through 5, 6 a.m. and up to now, some few minutes to the top of the hour, 9 o'clock, the fire service is still unable to quench this stubborn fire. They have said that they will still need about 5 hours to quench this fire, showing the gravity of the situation on ground. Meanwhile, the RM is expected to meet President John Dramani Mahama at the airport, and he's expected to commission the tree planting project. Then we are also anticipating that the president would come here to see for himself what has happened, and also going forward bring out a solution, and also to see what the traders can expect from government, because as at now, that is their cry, that is their worry, and that is what they are anticipating. Over to you.
Can you hear me? Well, it appears, and that is the situation on the ground. The fire still blazing there. I see some of you commenting, some saying this is the situation and that it ought to be dealt with speedily. Some of you say some of those who spoke should not have spoken because they have to get on the ground and work. But if they do not speak, how do we know what exactly the situation is and what intelligence they have? There's also a gentleman who shares a message saying that we should speak Chi, and we don't like speaking Chi in Ghana. That's not a bad call, but first off, it's not only Chi that is spoken in Ghana. Imagine if everyone wanted us to speak their different languages. And the second bit, you can also follow on Adom TV. You can follow the action from there so that you, if it's about understanding what is being said, you can grasp everything that is being said. So that's the fire, that conflagration over there in the Ashanti region, the smoke billowing, and it doesn't look like this fire is going to come to a cessation anytime soon. But as we point accusing fingers, as some people did, we have to take a good look at our National Fire Service and where we find ourselves as a country. That's a conversation we definitely have to have. We're going to take a breather. We'll still leave you with some scenes, and we'll be right back on the AM show.